Hello, my name is Priscila Mateini. I'm here to talk a little bit about the project that I worked with my students last year in 2020. In the second semester, we decided to do a project using fantasy genre instead of using the traditional ones authors. So our student was a really always they have been working with literature since the fourth grade, and then we decided to go up ahead because we saw that they was very tired with their old same old books. So we decided to bring in different ones. So the idea uh, came across because of a discussion that we had on the in social media, me and a friend. We was talking about how some books turns to TV shows, and that was the moment that something like a click, and we decided to do it as a project in a game-based learning project. So the first part of this idea was that we have to work with the seventh grade. They are around 12 and 30 years old. This project is a pilot, so we decided to work it at the private school in Rio de Janeiro. It was around only 20 students because the school is not a crowded room, so it would be very problematic to manage many other students. And the idea of this project was to engage literature with language. So the more we could work with them, reading skills, writing skills, so the language would be more proficiency. So that's why we decided to do this pilot. It was just this one group, this is the first one that we worked with Tolkien's writing, and also it was not supposed to be as a virtual meeting because we decided we was not expecting, as everybody else was not expect, that we would have a pandemic that would put all people locked down. So what we decided to do, the project was to be in a school environment, in at the computer lab where they you work it out with producing their stories and also put their stories in the virtual reality. That was the idea that come across that the main project, and after that we have to change everything. So the project took to the Zoom classes. So we have to divide the groups. So a part of the group would be the responsible for to create the plot, to create the writing part, and the other ones was responsible to pick it up the product and to put it in the virtual reality. So the first thing is that we have to use this information that we provided by picking up the book, also about researching on the internet, and after that to brought what we have now. So we took 4 months to do this project. So it is not a short-term project. This would be, if it would be a long term, because they will work more about other aspect of the language, of the culture, and also challenge them to another level. So the situation that we faced in that moment, we start in August and finishing in December, we have some problematic about some students. didn't have the the computer game. So because we have to use as in the computer, and they use about they have to use in consoles. So that's the moment that we have to um, use the tools that we had to help them to bring it up, to come alive this project. And how about the assessment? So the assessment, what we did not give them test or exam. We evaluated them by doing the project. So we return them feedback. We also look it out for the production, the storytelling. We review how it was the draft. Of course, they have some mistakes and some errors, but this was not the problems that we was looking out. We want them to improve their curiosity, and also challenge them to be autonomous. So that is the purpose of this project. And why we decided to teaching Tolkien? Because as I said, it was about fantasy genre. They are nowadays they are more related to the fantasy genre because of video games, and also because it's totally different from the traditional ones that we used to study in class. So using the fantasy genre, we can use the imagination, and also encourage them to read more other things. So some of them didn't know about talking. So what we have to do? We have to introduce talking to them. So the things that we have, it was to search around the internet, look it out for forums, and also from a reference from articles, books, and even the Tolkien Society. So we make like a travel around these things, and they got really surprised because some was related to their childhood because of fairy tales. Others never heard about the talking, and the others parents and relatives have already read the book, have seen the movie. So that helps a lot them to come up with the story, and they help us too. So the idea of a creative thinking, we want to stimulate them to create. Guys, put it on your all the things that you have in mind at the paper. So that was the idea. Um, the moments that they was researching out for the vocabulary, they were learning in a passive way. So reading, they were learning, they were acquiring, they were challenging, they were and improving their curiosity. So one thing goes to another. So that is the point that we select. At the part that we select the story was very pointed because we wanted to talk about something related to nature because this time of the school we was talking about environment. So that was something that we are concerned about: climate change, things that related to environment, nature, and then also we could use the plot from the writing about this. So, and why the storytelling, and why we selected these two books? One is The Lord of the Rings, and we selected the one from the Two Towers, the part of the Tree Bed. Tree Bed, we was talking about the powerful, the oldest tree in the Middle Earth. So that was the purpose that we wanted to make them to reflect, make them to get exposed to the language. Even though the book is so dense, we could break it up to use a vocabulary that would be work with them. So the authenticity about the production, what they feel, what they react, what the about, what reading. give it to them, make the project really interesting to us. So the other part we selected was a short story about Live by Niggle, and talking about also a tree and but a different point of view. So that's why we could listen. We would like to listen that point of view with a different perspective. And also because we are working with different groups, not here in Brazil, but in another country. So people from Turkey, people from Canada are discussing about this, and we would like to hear it. So that was the intention to promote mutual cultural interests and also attitudes. So how we can change, how we can improve, how we can get more exposed to something that it will bring it to them more authenticity. They reflect, they will reflect more. So when we are exposed to this kind of book, we are more critical. So that is something that we the project wants to trigger the students all the time. Why? Why you like them? Can you give them an example in why it's difficult? Can we transform in something very different one? So this is stimulating them since from they are young, they will be adult that will be more reflexive. So that is the purpose that we select this spot. And then here, as you can see, they pick it up the idea from the book that they read, some part of the book and some part of the short story. They made it up, the plot, and then they have to transform this in a reality, in a virtual reality, in a game. So this was very interesting. So how yeah, long, if you're thinking about 10 years ago, I would not do that for my students because I do not the tool for that. I would be could be something different. We could be like something that would only be writing or speaking. But at the moment that we are in lockdown, we have nothing more available for us as outside. So get inside and use the tools that they have, such as a video game or computer game, that transformed the project in another level. So the project was supposed to be the storytelling, but then we decided to do something related to their reality. They are playing all the time. So that makes them to be more interested, engage them with the other student. So we select two groups. We have four groups. And then we select two groups that they have to decide which story you're gonna to write and which story you have to put it in the Minecraft. So the story was taken and being more and more, and these two was the two example for many others that I brought here to you today. But it is very important to see how the creativity, the idea that they are exposing, what they feel about the talkings, about the sense of the idea of nature, the symbolism that is the concept, and also the virtue that Tolkien talks about, and about hope, faith, friendship, empathy. So togetherness, that is how the project took place. And that is how we decided to move on and continue. So the other thing is about the storytelling. So they produce the plot, the task that they have to create this virtual world, and also the project could not be only by literature and English language. but we get connected with the other subject. So teacher from history and geography, they come all together. So we decided to bring it to them facts, informations, also about the reality from the book and the perspective from the author and the perspective from the culture that we have. Of course, Brazil and United Kingdom have uh, different realities, but in the aspect of that we try to work it out, we get closer and closer and closer about the idea that was the plot. For example, when we're talking about describe the tree bird as a 14 feet oak tree. So we have to imagine how oak tree in Brazil. So we have, but not in the northeast or not in the north, but in the south. So that is the ideas of territorium that we're trying to use also to make it, things get more touchable for them. And also the plot got more intention to be a huge project that continues through all the school. Even though we are in lockdown, we are more together. So that was the purpose. So the project that we thought that would be something very difficult to deal with, it become a project that connected, engaged, and interacted even more than we think at the beginning. So I invited you, if you have any interest. The Tolkien project is available on Linux platform, so you can see what they wrote, their perspective, what they produce. It is already there, so there is no problem. You can leave a comment. They will be very pleased to read it. And thank you so much for being here and brought to you this idea that we did it here in Brazil, and would be very good if uh, you interact with them, because that's why we intend to. We wanted to engage more and more students, little ones, to get the real meaning of fantasy genre, and also be more flexible for them. Okay, so thank you so much. This is the reference and you can follow it out. So see you. Bye bye.